Right now, all the recent school closings taking a toll on sporting events across southern Wisconsin. How athletes will make up for this lost time.
And a local school district votes to remove music classes for elementary students. The reason behind the decision is straight ahead.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 10.
Thanks for joining us tonight. The heavy snow has come to an end, at least for the next day or so.
A new concern for the next few hours is blowing snow, which may make for some dangerous travel conditions. City crews say clearing this round of snow may take longer because it is heavier than the previous storms. They started plowing all city streets this afternoon, and it will take 14 to 16 hours until they are done.
Let's go to meteorologist Dave Caulfield on the backyard patio, braving the elements in our first alert forecast. Dave.
Well, Eric, we do have some blowing and drifting snow on the patio this evening. Some light snow still falling in the Madison area, and our weather patio is pretty well shielded from the wind, so it just gives you a sense of how it might be in normal areas across southern Wisconsin. Even into the overnight hours on Doppler track, we could see some patches of light to moderate snow, probably the heaviest band extending from Madison southeast through Janesville right now, and we expect those snow showers to wrap up just after midnight across southern Wisconsin. So we still do have a winter storm warning until 3 a.m. for much of the area. For the southeastern tip of Wisconsin, it is a winter weather advisory, and that's mostly for blowing and drifting snow. This is what we're looking at high above my head right now on the WISC-TV Skycam overlooking Madison. Not much in the way of visibility. We're actually down less than a mile visibility in Madison. We're at 3-mile visibility in Lone Rock and Boscobel, and 1 1/4 mile visibility in Monroe, and that's because of wind speeds right now out of the west at about 10 to 20 miles per hour, but we are gusting, especially across portions of southwestern Wisconsin, over 30 miles per hour, and even in the 40s across portions of northeastern Iowa. Temperatures right now are in the low to mid 20s, even some teens showing up a little bit farther to the north and east. Your day planner going into midnight, temperatures will be around 20, still with the clouds around. Partly sunny skies will be with us by the time we get to tomorrow, so that's good news, but still could be some blowing and drifting snow during the overnight hours. And to start off the commute tomorrow, we'll talk more about that in your News 3 Now First Alert forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, Dave, thank you. And city crews are not only plowing the streets, they are preparing for future storms by removing large amounts of excess snow. Tractors loaded up some of that snow. They put it in dump trucks and then take it to one of 2 dump sites in the city.
It's a slow process, too, because it takes up multiple vehicles, and you're just scooping the snow, putting it in a truck, driving it away, and then you got to wait for that truck to come back.
Plowing operations will hopefully be complete by the start of tomorrow morning's commute. However, drivers should expect quite a few slick spots out there, especially on side streets. Probably a good idea to allow a little extra travel time in the morning. And this weather is keeping a lot of people at home tonight, and that includes many athletes.
Most high schools canceled their games, hoping for better weather when they reschedule, but not at Stoughton. Amy Reed joins us now to show us why they kept their wrestling meet on.
Right. Despite this snow, it was pretty busy in the stands, home and away. But people told me they were happy to be there, whether they had a kid wrestling or not. Anticipation runs high.
You got Janesville Craig, who's ranked 12th, going up against Stoughton, who's ranked number 1, number 10 in the nation. So should be a barn burner.
Whether that's the game or the weather you have to go through to get there.
The roads are slick like usual, but I was excited today because I haven't been to a meet yet this year. I've been super busy with work and schooling, and so being in our hometown, it was nice that this one didn't get canceled.
Nope, this one's on. Just about the only sporting event in the whole state to stay that way. Other wrestling meets from River Falls to West Bend instead got moved to a day less covered.
We felt that we were safe with the road conditions, and there was a collective agreement between the 2 different districts.
So Janesville Craig made the 40-minute drive, and even if it was a little rough, the parents did what they had to do.
I would have rather them not, so we didn't have to drive in this, but here we are. We got to support our kids when they do.
Lifetime Stoughton fans are happy for the competition, as long as they're the ones cheering on a win.
I'm hoping it's a rough ride home for them, but
not because of the weather.
Not because of the weather, no, right.
There was at least one other game tonight that we could find, and it was also in Stoughton. Milton's hockey team drove up to play the Vikings. But if you want to know if Janesville Craig
did indeed have a rough ride home. You'll just have to wait around for Melissa.
Oh, that's good. Good
Suspense
teasing.
for sports.
All right, Amy. Thank you.
Thanks, Amy. Well, technology changing the way that one Wisconsin school district handles snow days. Although they didn't have class, Random Lake High School students spent 3 to 5 hours on their computers at home doing schoolwork. The superintendent is running the state's pilot program for digital snow days.
It looks a little different than the average school day, but in a way, I've kind of said to our staff and our students, we're flipping the school. Learning is happening, but it's not happening at the school, it's happening at home.
Random Lake's virtual days will not have to be made up at the end of the year. The Department of Public Instruction is still taking in data and has not taken a public stance on that issue.
The Mackinac Island Bridge is closed tonight after dealing with near whiteout conditions today. It started with a multi-car crash on the bridge around 4 o'clock this afternoon, but it hasn't reopened since. Earlier in the day, high winds prompted the bridge authority to require escorts for certain vehicles while they crossed. The State Department of Transportation tweeted this photo today. A state trooper was rear-ended along I-90-94 in Monroe County. They say it is serving as a reminder to drive slow in poor conditions and to move over for first responders. The trooper was not hurt.
Between 3 p.m. yesterday and 11 a.m. today, the State Patrol says it handled 108 motorist assists, responded to 93 vehicle runoffs, 22 property damage crashes, and 11 personal injury crashes across the state. And in Wausau, police say a woman was taken to the hospital after getting into a crash with a county plow truck. The driver of the SUV was trapped in the vehicle but managed to suffer only a foot injury. The cause of that crash remains under investigation. Wausau, by the way, picked up an additional 3 to 6 inches of snow today on top of last night's storm.
Here is something we do not have to deal with here. Several downtown Chicago streets had to be closed today because of large ice chunks falling off of the Willis and John Hancock buildings. Police say no injuries have been reported. Fifth graders at Janesville Public Schools will no longer get the option to participate in band and orchestra.
Parents were only given a moment's notice that these changes could happen. Rock County reporter Adam Duxter joins us from our bureau at the Janesville Gazette with why the district is making this tough choice. Adam?
Well, Eric and Charlotte, the school district of Janesville is confident that the decision to cut fifth grade band and orchestra will not have negative impacts. But for those who were once a part of those programs, it is still a tough pill to swallow. At Craig High School, advanced students from middle school band and orchestra are fine-tuning their craft. Many of these students started before middle school. Derek Sherman still remembers the first chance he got to play.
When we sat down in the auditorium, the teachers played those instruments. I heard the cello and I just fell in love with the sound of it.
Sherman was in elementary school. Today, he's an adult, still playing the drums in several groups around Janesville and advocating for other kids to have the same chance he got to learn in school from a very early age.
The younger a child is, the more like a sponge they are. You know, the doctors have shown these things. It's been proven that the younger you are when you learn something, the more you'll retain it, the more you'll learn.
Tonight at a Janesville school board meeting, the board voted 7-1 to get rid of the fifth grade band and orchestra program, which they will replace with more time in music classes. And while the district agrees music is important,
I emphatically believe that music education is a world language and it belongs in school.
They didn't feel like the current structure was best or make the best use of teachers.
They are asked to do RTI in reading and math, which they are not all of them specialized in. They are asked to do a variety of supervisions, all work that a certified professional and an expert in music should be doing music work.
But for those like Derek who learn in elementary school, the news strikes a bad chord.
I think you lose that, that eagerness, that innocence when you're younger, and that ability to really care about what you're doing.
And the band and orchestra programs that were offered to the fifth graders will now be offered to sixth graders at a middle school level. You can find all the details about the changes on our website, channel3000.com.
Adam Duxter live in our Rock County Bureau tonight. Adam, thank you.
4 law enforcement officers are being hailed as heroes tonight. They were the first ones to respond to the shooting at a software company last year, ultimately killing the gunman. Because of that outcome and their bravery, the officers, 2 Middleton police officers and 2 Dane County deputies, were recognized in front of their families and the entire state assembly, earning a well-deserved standing ovation and a nomination from Representative Diane Hesselbein as hometown heroes.
and we're from different agencies here, but yet our training is all based on the same standard. So we're able to actually come together and then get the best outcome for that situation.
That healing process continues, and their heartfelt support and commitment to our needs has been absolutely invaluable. I know the 3 men who stand beside me today accepting this award are heroes. Without hesitation, they put their lives on the line to save others.
The Hometown Hero Honor is awarded to people who make a difference in their communities, but the officers say gratitude of this nature is difficult for them to accept, giving credit to the other law enforcement officers and agencies who responded. Still ahead on News 3 Now, blowing snow overnight and another dusting of snow is expected later this week. Dave will have your updated forecast.
Plus, the state task force weighs a gas tax increase as a way to help build funds to fix Wisconsin roads. An update straight ahead.
Welcome back. A big day for dog lovers. Wire Fox Terrier named King has won Best in Show at the 2019 Westminster Dog Show at Madison Square Garden in New York City. The Terrier group holds the most wins with 46, more than twice as much as any other group. The Havanese named Bono got Reserve Best in Show. A Madison man is going to trial, now charged with production of child pornography in connection to a missing Tennessee girl who was found in Wisconsin.
31-year-old Brian Rogers was in federal court today. A judge ordered him to remain in custody until trial. Rogers accused of persuading a 14-year-old Tennessee girl to record a rape and then send the video to him. Court records indicate after he saw that video, he didn't report it to police. Instead, brought the girl to Wisconsin. The defense argued Rogers only suggested she make a recording for evidence, and that came after he had suggested other ways for her to get out. Mexican drug kingpin Joaquin El Chapo Guzman has been found guilty on all counts. Jurors in the U.S. convicted him on their 6th day of deliberations. The trial testimony lasted nearly 3 months. Guzman has twice escaped from prison in Mexico. Most recently in 2015, he will be sentenced in June.
Governor Evers says a task force he created to come up with funding solutions to pay for the state's roads is likely to propose a gas tax increase. That tax currently sits at 32.9 cents a gallon, but the governor wouldn't tell reporters today how much the increase would be. President Trump says he's not happy about an immigration deal reached by a bipartisan group of lawmakers. They have until Friday to come up with a plan the president will support before parts of the federal government run out of money and shut down again. Tonight, CBS News has learned President Trump is likely to sign a congressional border security deal, but he didn't have great things to say about it.
Am I happy at first glance? I just got to see it. The answer is no.
Please, Mr. President, no one got everything they wanted in this bill, but sign it and don't cause a shutdown.
Congressional sources say the bipartisan deal includes nearly $1.4 billion for physical barriers, including 55 miles of border fencing, but no wall. The president has been asking for $5.7 billion, but still says he hasn't decided whether to declare a national emergency to go around Congress to get his wall funding.
Today marks the 210th birthday of our 16th president, Abraham Lincoln, born February 12, 1809, in a Kentucky log cabin where today is a legal public state holiday down in Kentucky. He was elected president in 1860. 3 years later, signed the historic Emancipation Proclamation freeing millions of slaves. He also signed a law in 1862 to establish land-grant universities, including UW-Madison, and that's why his statue has adorned Bascom Hill now for over 100 years.
Meteorologist Dave Caulfield joins us now with a look at our forecast.
The last 3 weeks have felt like 100 years because of all the winter weather that has visited southern Wisconsin. And most of that is wrapping up this evening as we head into the overnight hours, but still blowing and drifting snow will be an issue into the early morning hours of Wednesday. So that's why we're still under a winter storm warning until 3 a.m. tomorrow morning. Some of us across the southeastern tip of the state are under a winter weather advisory. Here is our low pressure system. You can see it kind of fall apart over the last few hours or so, but we still do have some snow showers showing up across portions of southern Wisconsin, close to the Mississippi River Valley. Some moderate snow falling in Viroqua and down towards Lone Rock, Madison to Janesville. The heaviest band still located right along that line, basically right along the interstate right now. And I do expect this snow to wrap up over the next few hours as we head into the early overnight hours, closer to about 1 or 2 in the morning. So snow totals through this evening, close to a foot in Portage and Lodi. Mount Horeb coming in with close to 10 inches of snow. Cross Plains, 9 inches. Madison, updated total of about 8.5 inches. I measured about 9 on the patio. It's so tough, though, when the wind comes into play because blowing and drifting snow can really make an accurate snow measurement kind of tough. And in Janesville, a little bit closer to southeastern Wisconsin, where we were predicting about 4 to 6 inches of snow. We were right in line with that. Snow totals actually did really well with this system overall. Platteville, you could see some blowing and drifting snow there, and a similar story on the Edgewater Skycam overlooking Madison. Temperatures are in the teens and 20s so far tonight, but they'll continue to fall into the middle teens as we start off tomorrow. Wind speeds in Madison have actually really come down. It's the other spots, basically everywhere else, where we're seeing some pretty gusty winds right now, especially across southwestern Wisconsin. Gusts of 38 miles per hour being reported in Platteville, 40 down to Dubuque, Iowa. And so visibilities, because of the blowing and drifting snow, are reduced greatly in some spots. Actually, in Madison, we're less than a mile in our visibility measurement, about 1 1/4 mile in Monroe. So especially in the rural areas, if you have to travel through them tomorrow morning, we still may see some blowing and drifting snow overnight. The snow will be wrapping up over the next few hours with temperatures falling into the mid-teens. So the commute tomorrow morning shouldn't be too hazardous. However, especially there could be some trouble spots in those rural areas where you don't have that much protection from the wind. Partly sunny, breezy, and colder with temperatures in the mid-20s. So winds still pretty gusty as we head into the early morning hours, but those winds will diminish as we get closer to the afternoon and evening. Future track showing the snow showers on their way out over the next few hours, and a little bit of sunshine on the way for tomorrow. That will be nice, and temperatures will be in the mid-20s for highs. As we head into Thursday, we'll notice the clouds back with us, and then later on Thursday into early Friday, we could see, especially north of us, a couple of snow showers, maybe a few bits of freezing rain or freezing drizzle possible, but it looks like generally that we will dodge most of that next system, so we'll keep a chance for maybe a dusting of snow, but that's about it. Thursday night into Friday, we'll still have to watch out just early Friday morning. The weekend looking colder and quieter with temperatures near about 20 degrees. Next chance of accumulating snow, I think, comes the middle of next week.
All right, thank you.
Now here's a little something to warm the soul. Pitchers and catchers will report tomorrow for the Brewers. And this afternoon out in Phoenix, the team cut the ribbon on this new spring training facility. It's called American Family Field of Phoenix. The Brewers invested more than $60 million in this project. Position players will report on Monday, and the team will hold its first full workout in exactly 1 week from today. Looks pretty good, doesn't it?
That looks pretty darn good. The Badgers not quite able to finish strong against the Spartans tonight. We have highlights and post-game next in sports.
Please.
Okay, so the last 5 meetings against Michigan State have not gone over well for Wisconsin. They've lost all 5. So tonight's matchup featuring a heavyweight battle between Ethan Happ and Cassius Winston. Snow, schmo, whatever. We've got basketball to watch. Pat Cole Center tonight. Things getting off to a good start for Wisconsin. Nate Reavers getting a 3, and he scored 11 points tonight. And then later, Brevin Pritzel playing some defense. Brad Davison with the ball. Back to Pritzel for the dunk. He's got some hops. Okay, I see you, Brevin. Badgers up by 1 at the half. In the second, Ethan Happ with the ball. This is career point number 2,000 for the senior forward. Wisconsin down 1. But the Badgers struggling down the stretch on both sides of the ball. Kenny Goins for the big 3 there for the Spartans. They're up by 6 now. Davison responds, but not enough in time. And afterwards, Ethan Happ visibly disappointed, addressing the free throw issue. He went 0 for 6 from the line.
Just lack of execution as a team, but I can, you know, as a player, you look back on stuff that you did personally. And, you know, there's plays that I, you know, could have finished stronger or took my time more. And obviously the free throws were, you know, possessions where we got nothing out of it. So it's something that I'm going to, you know, have to get over mentally. And it's a long season, so I'm, you know, looking forward to helping my team in that area.
Happ also responsible for 6 of the Badgers' 10 turnovers in tonight's loss. But on a brighter note, he is now the 4th Big Ten player in history to put up 2,000 points and 1,000 rebounds. Wisconsin with some time off now. They don't play again until Monday when they host Illinois. Other Big Ten action tonight, a battle between Purdue at Maryland. Carson Edwards getting some space. Can't do that around him. He nails the 3. 24 points for him tonight. Purdue up by 6. Maryland fighting back, tied at 50. Aaron Wiggins, the sidestep and 3. Terps stay in the lead after that, up 5 here. And Bruno Fernando, the exclamation point. 12 rebounds for his 16th double-double. Maryland beats Purdue 70-56. WIA wrestling sectionals were scheduled for tonight, but Mother Nature, she had some other plans. Those meets will now be tomorrow. All except for one. Brave Souls venturing to Stoughton tonight. Vikings hosting Janesville Craig. In the 126 weight class, Manson McLennan beating Trenton Dow in overtime 16-14. Then later at 120 pounds, Dante Steinmetz getting the 9-1 win over Julian Garcia, and Stoughton wins 59-9. Vikings making their 6th straight trip to state. The Prep Mania Game of the Week returning after a hiatus due to weather on Thursday night with a battle for first place in Big 8 girls basketball. Middleton and Sun Prairie both 13-1 in conference play, and you can watch the game with Jay Wilson and Bill Brophy. That's live on channel3000.com at 7:15 on Thursday night. And finally tonight, if you happen to be heading to Greece for any random reason or anywhere on Aegean Airlines anytime soon, there might be a familiar face showing you how to properly buckle your seatbelt or what to do in case of an emergency on the plane. That's right, the Greek freak himself right there, Giannis Antetokounmpo, now stars in the safety video on Aegean Airlines. It is the largest Greek airline in the world. We'll be right back.
Snow showers coming to an end over the next few hours, but still some blowing and drifting snow possible overnight. Partly sunny tomorrow with temperatures in the mid-20s.
Okay, thanks a lot. Thanks for joining us.
Do something good, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.